Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our live stream gig in Slough. And for those of you who are watching from far away and have no idea what I just said, we're close enough to Rotterdam, so that'll give you an idea, if you like. It's great to be able to come to this wonderful theatre and play. Myself and Ed haven't had a chance to perform in months. It's been well over, I think, 6 months since we had a gig during last summer, so it's ages ago. So it's very nice to do this. Unfortunately, we don't have you with us here in person, but we know there's loads of people here with us in spirit, because I've been told there are people watching all over the Netherlands, in Belgium, in Ireland, in Germany, and even further afield in the States, and God knows where else. So sit back and relax and enjoy the music for the next hour. Now is the time to start out again. The waiting is done, the tale can begin. No pushing everything back to the floor. Now is the time to start out anew. The track has been found, the track, it is true. No telling where we've been ever before. So I will rise and hold out my hands and carry the torch all throughout the lands and gather the greatest gift that can be given to anyone. Time for the living of it all. Now is the time for telling the truth. The trickery's done, the folly of youth. No turning everyone back at the door. And now is the time to play out the game. The stage, it has changed, the story's the same. No telling where it might take us this time. So I will rise and hold out my hands and carry the torch all throughout the lands and gather the greatest gift that can be given to anyone. Time for the living of it all. So I will rise and hold out my hands and carry the torch all throughout the lands and gather the greatest gift that can be given to anyone. Time for the living of it all. And then what do? You just move on as quickly as you can to the next song, I suppose. This is the new normal, they say. Well, I hope this new normal isn't going to last too long, because we would prefer to have all of you here, of course. Anyway, that first song was a song called The Greatest Gift, which is going to be almost the title track of our new album, which is coming out later in the year. The first 4 words of that song are "Now is the time," and that is going to be the title of the new album. And it's, if you like, a reference to the situation we are all in now, straining at the leash, on the cusp of moving back or forward to the life we want to live, and not the one we're living at the moment. So God knows where it's going to lead us. In the meantime, I want you to put a different image in your minds for the duration of the next song. This is a song called Regards, and it's basically about, you all know the cliche, about a man who walked out the door to go down the town to buy a packet of cigarettes and never came back. So just think of that while we're performing it. 2, 3. I walk out on a cold Sunday morning, just going into town, the usual way, and stop at the end of the street and wave to my love in the north, my affection, to my hope in the south, my guiding star, to my teacher in the east, my expectations, to my friends in the west, my regards. You spend the next 10 years at your window, just staring at the spot on the street where I waved, and wondering what on earth it was you said. To my love in the north, my affection, to my hope in the south, my guiding star, to my teacher in the East, my expectations, and to my friends in the West, my regards. Thank you. Okay, a quick tune-up while Ed changes positions. He's got a real nice control center here, if you like, and he gets to sit down for the gig as well. It's not fair. Oh, I should stop and rest these feet and let the darkness cover me. Oh, the comfort of cold sleep, but I've miles to go. No, I have never yearned so long for all concessions I know are gone. And there, in that once familiar place, decline the cup you held so kindly to my face. And oh, wash over me the purity I crave, that you may carry me, will I be surely saved. Your distant warning has come back to trouble me, to take me whole and run me lifeless to the sea. And oh, the water, though you know I am not cowed, refuse to injure me as I allow. And there, in that unfamiliar place, I drank the cup down and you left without a trace. And oh, wash over me the purity I crave, that you may carry me, will I be surely saved. Your distant warning has come back to trouble me, to take me whole and run me lifeless to the sea. And oh, the water, water, oh, the 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 water. Nice one, Ed. Okay, I'd like to tell you a scary story. Yeah. This song has to do with the banshee. For those of you who don't know what a banshee is, I will explain it in the course of this little tale. I come from a town called Ferban in the middle of Ireland. And Ferban is a great town and was even greater years ago when it used to have its own electricity generating station. Imagine having your own power station in a town. It was great. The only thing about our electricity power station was that it often didn't work because possibly, one of my theories anyway, is it burned turf to generate electricity. And I think every now and again they ran out of turf in the station, and basically the town had no electricity until somebody went out to get more turf. Either that or everybody was taking a break or something for lunch, I don't know. But anyway, I remember we had regular power cuts in Ferban. So you could be there working during the day and all of a sudden all the power is gone, or worse again, at night you'd be watching the telly and all of a sudden the power was gone. And it's pitch black in the middle of Ireland, in the middle of nowhere. So basically we always had to know where the candles were and the flashlights. On one particular occasion, I was in the house on my own when all the lights went out, basically. And I was left there in the pitch black, not really sure what to do, because Mammy was always good at finding the candles, not the rest of us. So there was no Mammy around, and I got a bit kind of scared, to be honest. I was only 11 or 12 at the time. And of course, it didn't take long before my imagination started to play up on me. And what eventually happened was I was sure I heard this kind of crying outside the back door, out there in the black where I couldn't see anything. And I knew that the banshee was after turning up at the house. And the banshee was not someone you wanted turning up at your house because it was a portent of death, of terrible things about to happen. So I was always glad when the lights came back on or I found the candles or whatever. That was all right when I was a kid, I suppose, and I could excuse it, my imagination, later. But many years later, I was given a wonderful birthday present by my wife and son to go off on my own up to the north of Holland and write songs in this little house out in the middle of nowhere. It wasn't long before I discovered that it was pitch black up in the north of Holland as well, where I was. And I started to think terrible things about what could possibly happen in the middle of the night if I couldn't find the candles up in Drenthe. So, of course, it came to that, and there I was, eventually, one evening by candlelight, found myself writing a song about the banshee. Maybe it exorcised all the demons, I don't know. We'll see if it does it this time. In a merry-go-wild, the face of a child frozen in fear has felt the breath of a looming death, the loss of someone dear. By the edge of a stream, the sound of a keen pierces the air. To curl your blood, it surely would. Her hands, her face, her hair. If you live with your heart on your sleeve, then you'll know her name. If you struggle to stop and believe, then you'll know her name. If you're looking for some way out, then I know you might. Wait for the sound that she makes at night. In a time gone by when a woman's cry could shepherd you home, the earthling breath of looming death was bent to friend and foe. When the well overflows and nobody knows the judgment has come, a sad lament for those heaven bent, hellbound meant for some. If you live with your heart on your sleeve, then you'll know her name. If you struggle to stop and believe, then you'll know her name. If you're looking for some way out, then I know you know that this is the sound that she makes at night. A call, a call, a call. If you live with your heart on your sleeve, then you'll know her name. If you struggle to stop and believe, then you'll know her name. If you're looking for some way out, then I know you know that this is the sound that she makes at night. A call. Okay, I promise not all the stories are going to be that long. Hope not, anyway. To each his own, the call to come clean is gone still. Smothered in both the depth and the breadth of my will. Outside the world is all chaos and trouble. Inside I smile at the thrill, knowing that knowing's enough to come by my fill. And to each his own, the rush to strike first gathers pace. fueled by my fear of color, religion, and race. Inside fright, it's all packed in a bubble. Outside I laugh in your face, knowing that killing's enough to secure my place. But here in the dream, I am nothing but rapture and light, pushing for glory, I hold back the dark of the night. Seeping in slowly, a hatred unholy banishes all from my sight. And I am the knave, not the knight. To each his own, the terrible toll of my will. Outside and in, the sound of my soul is gone still. But here in the dream, I am nothing but rapture and light, pushing for glory, I hold back the dark of the night. And seeping in slowly, a hatred unholy banishes all from my sight. And I am the knave, not the knight. 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 Thank you, Ed.
I miss the audience.
Yeah, Ed really misses the audience. We both miss the audience. We know you're there, but you're not, if you know what I mean.
Maybe they can do sort of big applause. Maybe we can hear it.
Yeah.
What do you think? Shall we do that now?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Or
time for an applause.
everybody just clap. Even if you're only clapping in front of your telly, it'll do.
Yeah.
It'll shake up the building.
And shake up the neighbors as well.
Something that really shook up the world and the universe, in my experience anyway, was the launch in 1977 of two spacecraft called Voyager 1 and Voyager 2. And any of you who have been following us on social media for the last couple of weeks will know that we launched a single called Little Star, dedicated to the Voyager spacecraft and the mission. And for the last couple of weeks, I've been on social media like never before, like it was just after being invented. I never had much truck with social media, to tell you the truth. Ed was always the one who was the motor, if you like, in that. But I got up a head of steam when I started talking about spaceships and Star Trek and all this mad stuff. So some of you have seen me behaving a bit like a nutty professor on, well, what I'll call telly for the last couple of weeks. So I'm very sorry for putting you out now and burning up all your time. So maybe we should just keep it to the 3.5 minutes that this song takes to sing. Oh, little star, look where you are now. Look what you've done. Escaped the sun. While we go on, creating harm. All around the world. Oh, little star, when you look down here, what do you see? How could this be? You see how we go on with harm. All around the world. So travel on, my little star. You carry all that we once were. Oh, little star, look where you are now. Look what you've done. Outshone the sun, and we're all gone. And there's no harm. All around the world. Take a bow, little star. If I was wise, I would not have come this far, but stopped, gone back, and taken out the hard bits at the start. As I'm not, I'm bound to bear the scars that all the hard bits leave behind and make us what we are. If I was pure in thought and deed, I could have gone straight up to heaven if I'd wanted. If I was wise, always knowing when to quit, sure I'd still love everything, but just a little bit. As I'm not, my heart's an open door, flooding over daily till it can't take any more. If I was cold and calculated with my love, I could live forever if I'd wanted. If I wanted, and oh, mercy me, still this beating heart, still still this beating heart. Oh, mercy me, still this beating heart, still this beating heart in me. If I was wise, I wouldn't carry on. Just set someone else to come up here and finish off this song. But I'm not, and I'm glad I'll never be wise enough to let the head rule the heart in me. If I was granted absolutely everything, I know my heart would just stop beating, just stop beating. And oh, mercy me, still this beating heart, still this beating heart. Oh, mercy me, still this beating heart, still this beating heart. Oh, mercy me, still this beating heart, still this beating heart. Oh, mercy me, still this beating heart, still this beating heart in me. A golden oldie.
Very old.
Imagine.
But a lovely one. Definitely.
Still works. I can hear them singing in Antwerp.
Only in Antwerp.
It's funny. I think Ed probably feels the same as I do. It's quite odd, actually, to perform again after not having performed for so long and actually not really played that much music apart from on our own. Even the bloody curfew has meant we can't meet up to practice in the evenings. So it's been pretty bare. And we're a bit rusty now, in all fairness. You might hear the odd bum note, but it's part of the show today. By the time we get to the end of the lockdown and everything, we'll probably have perfected all of this perfectly. And this is a song I wrote a good few years ago when I got back to writing songs again. It's a song called Warning. And it's, I suppose, dedicated to people who find themselves in a little bit of trouble and not really sure what to do. And it always helps. It's incredibly helpful when you have somebody or people around you, be they family, friends, or whatever, who can just give you a small bit of advice, good advice, preferably, every now and again, and to warn you when you're possibly straying off in the wrong direction. Give me a warning, some kind of perfect line. Give me a warning, one I might use this time. It's not that I'm all right, or lost this time. It's just that I'm barely hanging on. Give me a warning, one that I might dread. Give me a warning, one that will stop me dead. It's not that I'm disinclined to take your advice. It's just that I think I've heard it more than once. God knows it might just take a long time, maybe forever, I don't know. God knows it might just take a long time, I don't know. Some things just get stuck in the pipeline, maybe forever, I should know. However long it takes, I'll find the time. Give me a warning, one with no reason why. Give me a warning, one I cannot deny. It's not that I'm all right or lost this time. It's just that I'm barely hanging on this time. God knows it might just take a long time, maybe forever, I don't know. God knows it might just take a long time, I don't know. Some things just get stuck in the pipeline, maybe forever, I should know. However long it takes, I'll find the time. I'll find the time. I'll find the time. Mr. Ed Feltrop, ladies and gentlemen, on piano.
Thank you.
I got a whole lot of requests.
Oh, yeah?
Kind of last minute thing, people sending me messages 5 minutes before we came up on stage.
Now you're going to surprise me.
No.
Okay,
No. I'm going to surprise the people who sent all the requests in.
Okay.
We don't have time to be singing all your requests, I'm sorry. There's a big long list of songs that we can't sing, although Bert would probably have us here till 12 o'clock if he wanted. But I do want to dedicate this next song to a very good friend of ours called Mark Gilligan, the legendary Mark Gilligan, who's in Daventer with all the Gilligans and the Cruises watching our little show. And Mark's life has been turned around since he went to Russia last year to get stem cell treatment to fight his MS disease. And the man has been reborn, and it is just wonderful to see the results. And now we're all afraid that Mark is going to terrorize us by being energetic and leading us all into trouble for the next couple of years. We'll see. We'll try and tame him. So, Mark, this one is for you. A song about the fragility, I suppose, of life. Any day now, I'll crack like a weakling, blown off the edge without the slightest inkling. And going on strong was just wishful thinking. It stole all my strength while I was sleeping. And you won't stop me when I'm leaving. You won't miss me when I'm gone. For all the hope that I've been feeding, you won't miss me. You won't miss me when I'm gone. And God, I've gone hard on the inside, troubled no more by my own sinking. When the heart's cold, it shows little mercy, and mercy was all that I've been thinking. And you won't stop me when I'm leaving. You won't miss me when I'm gone. For all the hope that I've been feeding, you won't miss me. You won't miss me. You won't stop me when I'm leaving. You won't miss me when I'm gone. For all the hope that I've been feeding, you won't miss me. You won't miss me when I'm gone, when I'm gone, when I'm gone, when I'm gone. Okay. Time for a little bit of advertising, or a commercial break, I suppose. It's not easy being a musician these days, and there are a lot of people who have it worse off than myself and Ed do, because sometimes we're able to make a little bread and butter doing other things as well. One of the hardest things musicians face these days is not being able to sell your music, basically. It's not easy. So this commercial break is intended to spur you on when our album, Now Is the Time, comes out on the Mars Worldwide label later this year, to buy it, basically. We would like to sell you loads of them, whether it be CDs, vinyl, or downloads. Help us along, because we put a lot into it, and hopefully you will get a lot of joy out of it. That said, end of commercial break. Playing music is one of the greatest things you can do, whether you do it for money or not. And the best way to do it, actually, is not to do it for money at all. We'll talk to the theatre about that later on. But one of the great things that music offers you is the possibility and to basically jump out of your skin, to become, if you like, something or somebody else, even if it is only for a couple of minutes, and to go a bit crazy. So we're going to go a bit crazy with this next song. One of these days I'll call you up to settle my debt and smooth the rough. One of these days, and sure enough, I'll rattle your cage and call your bluff. But until then, my fair weather friend, the end. Gone are the days of sentiment, swapping the praise that we never meant. Here are the days of spleen and vent, counting the cost of mercy spent. But until then, my fair weather friend, the end. But until then, my fair weather friend, the end. One of these days you'll think ahead, hoping to pounce and have my head. Until that day I'll wait instead, to come up behind and strike you dead. But until then, my fair weather friend, the end. But until then, my fair weather friend, the end. But until then, my fair weather friend, the end. The end. The end. The end. The end. The end. We should have done that one at the start, really, you know? Yeah. Loosened all the cobwebs are loose now, all gone, and we're all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and wide awake. And this is our last song. I think we've kind of filled the hour, and I don't think we should go on really
I have no idea.
too much longer. I have no idea if we've played an hour, but I think we have.
But before we go, I want a big applause at home for the artist himself, Mr. Danny Guinan.
Thank you, Ed.
I can hear them.
Yeah,
I really can hear them.
I can hear them clapping too.
Cool.
Well, with that in mind, let's finish with a song a lot of you know. This is my homesick song, I suppose. I wrote this song when I was spending a lot of time reminiscing about living in the town of Ferban in County Offaly, a great wee spot. And I'm going to sneak in one tiny little request.
Yes, no.
Because I really think I should.
Okay.
One of the terrible things about this whole Corona and COVID-19 situation is the inability for the likes of me, or people who live far away from their families, to see your families, your brothers and sisters and everything. And that's difficult to deal with sometimes. But you carry on and you make the best of it. But it was really brought home to me around Christmas when my youngest brother, Connor, and his lovely wife, Olivia, had their first child, Oisín. Oisín Guinan is the newest addition to our family. And I haven't got to see him yet, or hold him, or anything like that. Everything is just virtual, online. And an online baby looks lovely, but I want a real baby. Sorry, Tanya, not more babies for myself, but I would like to see Oisín. So I look forward to meeting Oisín, hopefully sometime in the near future. So this one's for you, Mr. Oisín Guinan. Thank you all so much for listening in, and thank you especially to everybody in this wonderful theatre in the Twee Hunches in Hellevoetsluis. It's just such a pleasure to come back and play here again. And I hope everybody here and everybody at home, wherever you are around the world, has enjoyed the show. Go out and buy the album when it comes out, and hopefully we'll get to see you in the flesh sooner rather than later. Come, take my hand and settle down beside me. Though you do not understand, come, don't be scared. Though the light is fading fast away across the land. I know it's been 20 years or more since we last went down this road, covered in the same old glow. Come, take my hand in the same old way you used to. you used to do before. Come, take my lips and give to them a kiss. Though you do not know the reason, come, let us join and keep out all the cold in this, the finest of all seasons. You know, the thought it warmed my heart up until the very last, that we could be together one more time. Come, kiss my lips in the same old way you used to do before. Go and take me now in whatever way you please, and mind all of our memories. Go and don't return, for the day will soon be gone, and tomorrow there'll be nothing here but snow and leaves. Who knows, we may yet meet again when the world is at an end, and the last of these red sunsets is no more. Go, 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 go. Come, the red sun in the west is giving up its best and lighting up the hills with something we once called our own when we were young, and that snowy afterglow had a name that we would not tell anyone.